Today I'll be showing you how I go from this to a final product of this. I've been watching a lot of videos lately of people building workbenches, and this little area over here, I had my son's bike sitting on top of that little entertainment center thing that used to be in the house a long time ago. Now it's just collecting dust. My son's bike sits on top of it, like I said. I got some welding gear inside, like welding rods, stuff like that, but it's not really like space saving. It's kind of taking away space. So I'm gonna build a kind of like a workbench slash storage area where I can put my son's pocket rocket underneath it and still have a shelf. I got a couple batteries charging that stay on the battery tender, so they'll be able to sit on the shelf. I'll be able to put stuff underneath it, on the shelf, and on top. So it'll kind of save me space and give me space to, if I have a like a project or something like that that needs to finish curing, I can just sit it up there. Don't have to worry about it being in the way. So this is kind of what I did. Might not be the way everybody would do it, but this is how I did it. So hope you enjoy. So after moving stuff out of the way, trying to pull this big piece of wood out. It's 8 feet tall, about 4 feet wide, and I struggled for a minute. Piece of wood is it's bulky, it's heavy. Um, Here the little plan I had, trying to figure out how much wood I needed for this, and possibly a design for epoxy in the tabletop eventually. Even the price for the wood, everything was pretty much spot on. Maybe like I was about $10 off. I didn't really account for screws. I got more screws than I needed. But hey, rather have it not need it than need it not have it. But let's see. So I'm cutting this. So the tabletop's going to be 24 inches wide by 50 inches long. So it's going to fit perfect in between the lawnmower where I have it and my toolbox. So here I'm cutting the wood down the size. So funny thing happened with this chop saw. So my neighbor actually gave it to me. I fixed his lawnmower, put new push rods, stuff like that in it. Anyway, so he gave me this chop saw. This is my first time using it. You see the blade smoking. It needs to be replaced, but I was going too slow when I was cutting the wood. But so funny story. So I didn't know that the angle on it was off. So I cut a few of the legs, and I could tell something just wasn't right whenever I tried to stand one of them up and it tipped over. But the angle for it's got a knob in the back, and it wasn't tightened down. So the blade had a slight angle in it, just enough where like my wood wasn't completely flat. Took me a couple cuts to kind of figure that out. But once I did, I was able just to shave off just a hair to get these legs like perfectly flat like they need to be. And then you can see I cut, so one of the legs is, well, four of them is 44 inches and the other four are 42. So I took a 44 and a 42, put them together so that whenever I put the legs into the actual top of my workbench, that they'll sit perfect in there, and the workbench will sit on one of the 2x4s, and then the tabletop will sit on the other one, if that kind of makes sense. Um, once I once I get it together, I'll explain it more so you can see what I'm talking about. Overall, though, I think this whole thing went pretty good. This is my first one. I actually had a lady stop by the house just kind of coincidentally, saw me building this and wanted me to build her something. So I guess you guys can just see how that goes in a little bit when she gets a hold of me and I start building her a bench. For some reason, once I got to this brace in the table, I kept second guessing myself and I don't know, I was trying to eyeball it for some reason, even though I had the level, and it took me a couple tries to get it right. Majority of the time I'm working, I got headphones in. You can see right here, I was listening to Metallica, you know, and it got to a good part in the song, but I always try to listen to music, makes things go by faster, and plus, I got bad hearing. Alright, so here it is, day 2, this is the last day. I'm gonna try and, this is gonna be one of the shelves. We're gonna get this in, we're gonna use the extra wood to add more braces to the back, but I'm gonna try to do them in an X pattern. So let's get to it and see how this goes. This is my second time doing the cross braces. The first time didn't work out too well, so this time it took me a little bit, but I finally got it. So here is a montage of me just doing a ton of nails to make sure none of these come off. I hope you like that, because here comes another one after we get this thing upright of me doing a bunch of screws. But I'm going to flip this over and we're going to try and get the shelf fitted. So the last time I built something, I built like an end table, like a Galaxy themed end table with a infinity mirror. When I put the bottom in that, I had space to actually put like the bottom piece, the shelf, like vertically to slide it in there into place. This time, I didn't quite think about that, as you can see. So I ended up having to cut this shelf in half to get it to fit in here. And you see me there trying to figure out an easy way to do it without taking off too much material. Alright, so getting this thing slid back into place. It's pretty heavy now. Obviously, I mean, all this wood it starts to add up, but it fit perfect. And I liked it, but after seeing it sitting in the garage for like an hour or two, I couldn't help but to put some wheels on it. So here's another montage of me putting a ton of screws in here and the wheels to get these things on. Alright, so here was the moment of truth. I flipped it over, tried getting this thing set up, but fumbling around all over the place. Each of these wheels can hold like 125 pounds. So between the 4 of them, you know, we're good for like 500 pounds. So I'm definitely glad I decided to put these wheels on. It only added like a couple inches. So overall, this thing's like 46 inches tall. Pretty excited about it. It's my first workbench, but I don't think it came out too bad. I am thinking about I don't know, I kind of wish I got the wheels with the locks on them, but I mean the garage is level, so I guess it's not too bad. I am thinking about putting some up here, some epoxy. You know, I have to do something in epoxy. So this was originally what I planned on doing, so this might be another video. Maybe I'll put the name of the YouTube channel up here, you know, up there, here, and then here, and in the middle maybe I'll have the YouTube symbol. I don't know, we'll see what happens. But yeah, this one's done. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me, and stay tuned for the next video. One more thing before we go. You know, to make sure this thing was sturdy, I had to climb on top. I mean, if it's gonna fail, I'd rather do it now before I get all my stuff up here and have a surprise in the morning. So, plus at least if I fell, it's on camera. but it's sturdy. And I appreciate you guys watching.